Yo, what's up? What's up? It's the Hungry Millennial back again with yet another Proactive Pragmatism. On today's Proactive Pragmatism, I'd like to talk to you about not rushing the process. And what I mean by not rushing the process is being patient, because all the learning lessons and everything that you need to learn to succeed are found in the process, whether it's dating, relationships, learning about yourself, things like that, whether it's financially, mentally, or physically, right? If you're trying to get those gym goals. And so there's major areas that I want you to look at and focus on not rushing in. And the area number one is financial. Area number two is mental. And area number three is physical, right? So financially, if we have giant goals, we want to start where we actually have the best amount of chances to succeed and we're within our budget, right? Don't go get the BMW that you can't afford, and you living off of a McDonald's salary, right? For me, this ties into when I renovated my first home that I was going to live in, right? The problem is I had underestimated the work and the finances that it was going to take to build that home. And then on top of that, I got to make my car payment. I had to make my car payment at the time because I don't do, debt or anything these days. I don't do financing. Whatever you need to get by, do your thing, right? I'm not judging, but if you want to talk finances, we have a review going on about the Millionaire Mind, and you should tap into that. Me and my boy Sean Hudson, it's going down. But it's one of those things where, if you plan to build a deck, right? Build a deck. Don't build the deck and the fence and remodel the shed at the same time. Because as humans, we're horrible at multitasking. So you want to make sure that you have your ducks in a row financially, because they're going to help you out mentally. So let's talk about the mental piece. So when it comes down to mental, always think personal growth. Always think, is arguing with this person going to cause me more of a headache than it's actually worth? And sometimes I even have to ask myself, do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? And the thing is either way, you have to make a decision. And making decisions a lot quicker than never, right, will help you out in the long run. You know that person that shouldn't be in your life. You know that relationship that might be good for you, but something else looks more exciting, right? Or those people, those conversations that you don't need to be having with people about negative things when you go into work, it's going to destroy your mood the rest of the day. And so we have to make sure that we are very, very conscious of what we're feeding ourselves mentally. A lot of people, they talk about how, millionaires, they read so many books a year, which is fantastic, right? But a lot of people don't talk about the beginning process. I had to realize, like, I'm not too into hard copy books. So I went and got an Audible subscription, right? And so with Audible, the greatest part is you finish the book soon enough, you can trade it in for another audio book without paying for extra credits. But I do, I get the Audible credits every month, and I work with those, and it makes things a lot more efficient for me. So on a day where I'm running around, I can literally listen to an 8-hour audiobook and get through it and get the knowledge that I want. But here's the other thing, is I also have to do it in moderation, right? Because I want to soak in the content. So, do it at your pace, and starting with where you are. A lot of times there are certain books that I've been listening to for 3 months, and I'll get into it when it's most relevant to me because it means more to me. Do the things mentally that mean a lot to you, and it will take you to places that you never thought you could go, and have you thinking in so many different ways to where, like, everything around you starts to change. And sometimes you'll lose friends, you'll lose, comrades, because you think differently now, you analyze things differently. But that's the beautiful part about life, is the more you grow, the more you know. And when you're in that space, it's one of those things where, they talk about, one of the great, a great emperor, Marcus Aurelius, often when, because kings had to, or emperors had to, go hang out, a little bit and socialize and stuff like that. But, his preference was to read and study and strategize and work on, actually running, a military and running an organization. And, a lot of times I get caught up in that. But here's the thing. So Once he found out that he could do both, oftentimes he would go to, the Roman games and things like that, and he would take a book with him, and he'd be reading and checking it out. Or, people would be thinking that they're talking about fighters, but he's talking about the strategy of what he's going to do next and what he plans on doing for the municipality that he was in charge of, right? So you can do both, but find the balance because it's going to be good for your mental health. Often I find when I want to edit podcasts or edit graphics or something like that, I will go to a local bar that's just a lounge and chill. Shout out to Punch Bar. It's an amazing bar. They know my favorite. I go there, I get my gin and tonic. They got it ready for me. They got my corner for me. I can plug my laptop in. I'll be doing it. That's not saying, hey, take my spot, right? You know what I'm saying? Let me, let me do my thing. You know what I'm saying? Hang out. And then third, physically, right? So we want to be very, very careful. And we talk about this on Cave or Conquer podcast, the fitness series that we have. You want to be very, very careful of doing too much and ruining the rest of your gains, not becoming who you want to be, right? So don't do too much at first when you start off at the gym. If you novice, hey, understand that you novice and rock with being novice and start basic. That's what I did. A lot of people are like, they see the muscles and, they see all that stuff. They're like, oh yeah, you muscular and strong. I'm gonna start doing what you're doing. And I'm like, when I decided that I was going to lose weight and be very, very intentional about my fitness journey, I started off on on the bike, right? So I started doing that and started pedaling. So make sure you're being realistic about your goals. You know what I'm saying? If running's too much, start with the bike. If biking's too much, start with the elliptical. But it's important to start because once you start building consistency and you start building those mental and those financial goals, and everything will fall in line. And that'll captivate the financial, the mental, and the physical growth that you're not going to rush during this process. So, this is the Hungry Millennial back again with yet another Proactive Pragmatism. I appreciate you guys. If you have any questions, you can email us at TommyLee@proprag.com. That is TommyLee@proprag.com. Thank you.